In this episode, we're exploring the differences between a lifestyle business and a growth business. There's a lot of misconceptions out there. Most people think that they have to choose between freedom and growth. Either build a business that gets you time off or one that scales and makes real money. I'm going to show you why this is a broken belief. I believe the best businesses out there deliver both. If the business only works when you work, then it's a broken business. It's just a fancy job title. All right, to begin this episode, I'm going to give you a scenario. Okay, so yes, I'm going to reference my computer as I share this scenario. So a friend of mine told me this. He said, I just want a simple little business, nothing big. I want to work for myself, maybe just enough clients to pay the bills and not deal with the headache of employees or systems. I don't want to scale or do anything like that. I just want freedom. So at first glance, this sounds peaceful. It sounds smart, perhaps. But the more I listened to him, what I started to hear was, I don't want responsibility. I don't want pressure. I want to avoid people. So I would say that that's not a business. That's just self-preservation, kind of under the disguise of entrepreneurship. So there's obviously nothing wrong with wanting peace or wanting independence, but we can't mistake that as entrepreneurship. So the truth is, you can grow, scale, create systems, and still have an abundance of freedom. Real lifestyle comes from smart growth, not avoiding growth. So my aim in this episode is to kind of create a paradigm shift in the way that you think about lifestyle and business growth. If you have to choose one or the other, you're setting a ceiling for yourself, both on lifestyle and on your income. But you're also limiting yourself on the ability that you can serve. You're limiting the impact you can make in the world. So let's first take a look at what I think the industry gets wrong. Okay, so how the industry would describe a lifestyle business is that it's often described as low impact, small scale, and self-serving. But there's more ways to define lifestyle, because I can focus on my own lifestyle, but what about the lifestyle that I create for my team members or the lifestyle that I create for my clients? So yeah, this quote unquote lifestyle business, you're focused on the lifestyle of the business owner, but you're neglecting everything else, the employees, the contractors, the clients. And also it says that the idea of growth relates to burnout, but that has nothing to do with growth. It just relates to having poor systems. Now, the other type of a lifestyle business is people view it as a hobby. They don't want it to consume them. They don't want it to be their career, but I would call it that. I would make sure you call it a hobby. Don't call it a business. This is just a matter of being honest about it. By calling it a lifestyle business, you're kind of deceiving yourself because you are going to try and make a profit with it. But if it's a hobby, you don't have to do that. So just be truthful with yourself. Now, here's a question for you. Are you using the term lifestyle business to hide from the fact that you don't want to be a leader? I mean, I'll just say from my own personal experience that entrepreneurship has been challenging, and it has been the biggest personal development I can think of next to my faith. So I'm a very religious person. I love church, I love faith, and I love growth. I also love family life, and being a parent has been a huge personal development program. But next to any vocation, entrepreneurship is noble. It is such an amazing personal development program that I wouldn't trade for anything. Now, the whole point of a business is to create value outside of myself. Like, I create a business to serve other people, to solve their needs, to solve their problems, to help them achieve their goals. And so if I intentionally keep it small for some of these so-called noble goals, I'm actually hurting people. Like, if my service is so amazing and I'm causing these amazing transformations in people, and yet I then limit it to only a few people. The fact that someone is afraid of having to create a system, or they're just unaware that a system can make it so they can have a lifestyle and still be able to scale and grow and help an unlimited number of people. Now, I've mentioned the word systems a couple times. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to read the book, The E-Myth Revisited. So E, I guess, stands for entrepreneur. A guy named Michael Gerber wrote that book. He wrote other sequels that I would kind of say he likes the sound of his own voice. I listen to audiobooks. But the first book, The E-Myth Revisited, it's a must read for any entrepreneur, especially if you think that systems are drudgery and something to be avoided. When you avoid delegation, you don't have a business. What you do is you're self-employed. So you've created for yourself your own job, and trying to scale a job like that just creates more headache and more burnout. So I can understand that, but you haven't actually built a business. You've just stayed self-employed. You went from being an employee to being self-employed, and because you didn't know how to turn that into a business with systems and with a team, you then describe it as, well, I'm just creating a lifestyle business so that I'm not a slave to it. But the ability to create systems and to delegate is what creates freedom at scale. And real contribution and real influence, it requires a team. So think about this. As much of a genius as you are, let's say you work 8 hours in a day. And let's say during that 8 hours, there are 8 different types of tasks that you do. When you spend an hour on task number 1, you give it your best. You are really good at it. And when you give an hour to task number 2, same thing. You give it your best. Imagine if you took each one of these tasks and you were to hire 8 people. So person 1 did task number 1 for 8 hours. Person number 2 did task 2 for 8 hours. So you just multiplied yourself by 8 times, but yet somebody that's dedicating 8 hours a day to a task that you only dedicated 1 hour to, they're gonna do such a better job at that task. So the next time somebody asks you whether you're creating a lifestyle business or a growth business, tell them that they're asking the wrong question. Tell them to ask the question, who else gets to benefit from the lifestyle this business creates? Meaning, is there only one person, the owner, that has a good lifestyle? Or is this a business that generates an amazing lifestyle for everyone that this business touches? Now, I don't know if I've sparked anything in you with this conversation. If you do want to build a real business that has real lifestyle, the next invitation I give to you is to watch a video called What is Authority Marketing? I want to position you as the go-to authority in your space. I'm going to link to that video right there. It's called What is Authority Marketing? Not only will you learn what it is, but you'll learn how to do it, how to have people see you as the #1 thought leader. I'll see you there.